Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you can't hear my washing machine in the background. If it gets really loud in a second, I'm sorry. But I wanted to start my second part of the June reading vlog because it's just a beautiful day in June and I have some reading updates. So today is the 18th of June and I finished a book last night, surprisingly. And that book was The Whale's Throne by Ken Liu. This is the third book in the Dandelion Dynasty series that I'm still working on a vlog for. So I will not talk about it in great detail here and hope that in July you will finally get to see the vlog about this series. But I decided to give this book 4.5 stars as well as I did with the second one. This is such a fantastic series, but there's still a couple of things that are hard to read in here. There are a couple of things that, are like real historic things that have happened that are pulled into this fantasy setting, but that are just so hard to read about that I'm not always happy when I have to. But then we also have more lightness in the second half of this book, which I very much appreciated, and I'm now so intrigued to see where the finale goes, and I hope I will be able to finish it during this vlog, so wish me luck. But I have one other book that I want to read in between this and the last one, and that book is Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf, and I have started this. I have read 10 pages so far. So this is a stream of conscious between, is that what you call it? Whatever. And we're following a woman in the 1920s, and that's all I've gathered so far. So I have no idea what this book is about, but we'll see. I also do a vlog for this one because this is one of the authors I want to try this year. So I do separate vlogs for those books. And yeah, after finishing that, I will go into Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. So I think the physical reading will not be a big part of this vlog, unfortunately, but I still hope to make some good progress during the second half of June now, because the first half wasn't the best. But then one thing I can talk about here is my audiobook, because I'm doing the End of the Rainbow readathon that is hosted by Riley Marie on her Patreon, and I'm still stuck in my second book for this readathon, which is a little bit annoying, but that book is Girls Made of Glass and Snow, Snow and Glass, I never know which way it is, by Melissa Bashardoust. This is her first novel. The second one, Girl Serpent Thorn, I absolutely loved that book. But I'm struggling with this one. It is a Snow White retelling, but it has a little bit of a different focus. We follow two perspectives. We follow Mina and Lynette. Mina is the stepmother character, and we see her point of view when she gets to court and when she meets the king and when they marry. And then we follow Lynette, who is the Snow White character, and we follow her point of view as we know it in the original fairy tale. So when things happen. But it is very different from the original fairy tale. There's a lot of stuff in there that we don't see in the fairy tale, and we have this magician who is Mina's father, but he basically is the reason why both Mina and Lynette are alive. And yeah, there's just a lot to it, but I think one, because it is like a fairy tale retelling, and two, because it is set in like cold weather, it just doesn't really match up with my lived experience of like 30 degrees Celsius right now. But yeah, I'm making my way through it. I'm currently exactly halfway through, and now some interesting things have happened, so I hope that the second half will be done more quickly now. It's just a very slow story where we focus more on the characters and their relationship, and I do like seeing these two women have like a friendship kind of relationship, and it is going to be interesting to now see how that will probably fall apart because of things that have happened. So that's my reading so far. Now the washing machine is definitely loud again, and I will keep you updated when something interesting happens. My pride and joy. So today is the 19th of June. I think in my last clip I lied to you because I said it was the 18th, but it was only the 17th. But I have a quick update because yesterday I finished a book, and that was Mrs. Dalloway by Virginia Woolf. I did a whole vlog about this. The vlog will already be up when you see this, so you can hear all of my thoughts on the book. But quick summary, I gave it 4 stars. I did enjoy it. I think it was a very interesting look at the times. I do have a soft spot for the 1920s, so yeah, this was a very interesting book, and I had no idea what I got myself into with it, but I'm very glad that I've read it. And so now, you know what we're gonna do. We're gonna read Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. This is the finale. It is over 1,000 pages. This will take me a while. In my last vlog, some of you thought it was so cute that the cat is hiding behind the books in my bookshelves, but this is what I end up with afterwards. I don't have a reading update, but wow, that storm last night was so scary, and it destroyed a lot of my plants on the balcony, so I'm super sad about that. But yeah, it was like definitely a very bad storm for the region here. We don't usually get that bad weather, so oh well. I hope this doesn't happen again so soon, but like the weather is supposed to be really bad for the rest of the week. So we'll see. Very hot during the day and then thunderstorms during the night, which is not great. Okay, it's finally time for the next roll. 2. We are here. 1, 2. Let someone else pick. I think that is something I can do. Just gotta do a little poll for a couple of hours and we'll see what happens. Now this one has been brought indoors. I hope the storm won't get too bad this time. It is already time to roll again. 6. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A new to me author. That should be doable. So today is the 23rd of June. Yesterday we had another really bad storm and I was completely knocked out with a migraine. Like I was literally lying in this room with the blinds closed, the door closed, everything was dark, and I was just listening to audiobooks because I was miserable. So that helped me to finally finish Girls Made of Snow and Glass by Melissa Bashardoust. I have been reading this for like over 2 weeks or something like that. I was really slumping. It was just not something that caught my attention well. And even though I kind of liked the vibes, it wasn't the right time for me to read it, and it wasn't the kind of story that I was craving right now. So in the end, I decided to give it 3.5 stars. I do think it has some interesting themes, but it's so slow going, and yeah, pretty much nothing happens for a very long time. And then you think something happens, but then it's not that exciting either. So yeah, overall, it was a fine story. I think if you're really into Snow White and you want to see a unique take on it, then you can read this book. But I think I'm not that interested in fairy tale retellings in general when it is like Grimm's fairy tales or like European fairy tales. I much rather have like fairy tales from other parts of the world that I'm not so familiar with, so that I can then dive into them deeper and get inspired to learn more. So yeah, I think it wasn't the book for me. 3.5 stars. It wasn't bad, but I just didn't love it. And then, because I was still feeling miserable, I decided to roll again for the End of the Rainbow Readathon that is hosted by Riley Marie over at her Patreon, because I wanted to do this readathon with my audiobooks this month, and since I was slumping so bad, I wasn't doing great. So I did the next roll. And though the next book I picked up was When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain by Nghi, I had this one up for a vote and then a Silver in the Wood, and I had it run for about an hour, and the tiger was winning. So I decided to go with When the Tiger Came Down the Mountain, and I really enjoyed this one. This is the second one in the Singing Hills novella series, and I already really enjoyed the first one. And the second one is different, but I felt like in its different, I liked it just as much as the first one, so I gave this one 4.5 stars as well. In the second one, we're again following the same cleric called Nghi, as they go around the world collecting stories for the Singing Hills, whatever it's called. It's not an abbey. What do they call that? I don't know. And so this time they are on a mountain range, and they're actually riding a mammoth for the first time, which I think was such a cute way to get into this story. Just seeing how the people even rode the mammoth, because obviously you can't sit on it as you sit on a horse because it's so much wider and bigger and stuff like that. So that was really sweet and interesting. But as they travel through the mountain range with their guide, they are attacked by 3 tigers, and these sister tigers kind of hunt them until they reach kind of a barn. And so they have this kind of standoff situation where the tigers can't really attack, but they also won't let our characters go, so they start telling each other a story. And so this is kind of again the story in a story setup, and I really like the story that they're telling because it is a little bit more confined. While I thought in the first one I loved Rabbit, the person who tells the story, a lot. Like Rabbit had so much more personality compared to these tiger sisters, but just because Rabbit was also part of the story she was telling, while the tiger sisters tell a story that is about another tiger. And so this time I really loved this story in between, where we follow a scholar who wants to participate in the imperial examinations and has to travel through this countryside that is wrecked with war. And so she meets a tiger, and this tiger kind of falls in love with her, and it's basically their love story. And it was beautiful. It's such a beautiful female-female love story, with the added bonus that one of them is a tiger. And it was, again, so magical, so beautiful, the way the story is told. is just amazing. I really do like the audiobook narrator as well. I think it is such a soothing voice, so that was perfect for the migraine. But there were a couple of moments where characters were experiencing like actual fear and terror, and it was read with this soothing voice, so that was a little bit weird. But apart from that, I absolutely loved it, and it was the perfect thing to do yesterday. So I finished the whole book. It's only 2.5 hours, so yeah, 4.5 stars, absolutely loved it. And so I actually could do the next role. And so the book I'm picking up now is My Dearest, Darkest. I'm very intrigued to read this. It could go either way. I could love it, I could hate it. This is a kind of like YA horror story set at a like I think it's an all-girls school. I'm not quite sure about that actually, but yeah, it could go either way. I've read similar stories that I hated, but I always feel intrigued by these stories, so we'll try it out. Wish me luck. This is the last book that I will read for this readathon. I hope I can finish it, because no matter what I roll after that, I will be at the finish line. So I'll do my best to finish this book this month, to finish the readathon. That would be so cool, and I'll let you know how it goes. And no physical reading has happened. I'm still 28 pages into Speaking Bones. Don't tell anyone.
Like, it's beyond dislike. Like, I'm feeling strong emotions, which is that's why I'm continuing though with it, because I'm like, it's still good.
So I just came home after a very long day, and this is what I got. She likes the book more than me. So today is the 1st of July, and that means I want to end this vlog. Unfortunately, June just wasn't a good reading month for me. I did not read as many books as I thought I would, and I'm still making my way through Dandelion Dynasty, which is a bit sad because I don't know, I thought I would be much quicker with it because the first 2 books flew by, but now I'm struggling a little bit with the last 2. But yeah, I did not finish my audiobook at the end of the month. I was pretty much halfway through, so unfortunately I did not reach the end of the Rainbow Readathon, which is kind of sad, but it's also okay. I was really slumpy with my audiobooks, and since I did only count those for the readathon, it's okay, it's fine. You can't always win, and I think when I finish this book, I'll still pretend that I won because, you know, it's just a little bit. So as I said, I have half of the audiobook left. I am enjoying it. I think that it's just a bit slow and very predictable so far. So we have this basic setup of this like private school that has a very big like artsy department. Our main character is a pianist, and then her love interest is a ballet dancer, and it's queer, so we have some Sapphic representation, and we have a big mystery. And it starts off with a very big tragedy, so definitely some content warnings for car accidents, which are mentioned quite a lot in this book, and then also death by drowning. And yeah, at the beginning, something dramatic happens to our main character, and after that, she is changed in a way. And then in this school, this group of girls who are like very popular, they find a kind of creature who can grant them wishes. And so, yeah, we follow this mystery, and then there's also like this grungy band that went missing in the 2000s that also seems to have something to do with it all. So, there is quite a bit going on. There's also some like personal relationship drama and some queer messiness. So if you enjoy these kind of things, I think you can have fun with this book, but it's not really creepy, and I just wanted a little bit more horror out of it. So far, yeah, it's just fine. It's okay. I'm having an okay time with it. So that's that for the audiobook so far. We'll see how the second half turns out to be. I'll let you know in my July vlog. And then I have 600 pages left in Speaking Bones, so I'm still not even halfway through. This book is so massive. I'm also enjoying this. There is a lot of explanation in here, and I have been warned that the technical details get a little bit out of hand, and I definitely see that now. In this last book, like so far, it hasn't really bothered me, but in this one, I definitely see that all of the explanations, how all of the inventions work, it's a bit much. It's a bit much. But yeah, I definitely want to see how it all ends. So I'm making my way through this, and we'll see. We'll see when I get to the end of that series. But yeah, that was June. Even though I didn't read as much as I thought I would, I'm still happy. Now I'm pumped for July, and then August is almost here also with the Magical Readathon, so I'm so excited for that. So I think I'm fine with having a bit of a lull right now, and then like getting back into the reading game in August, hopefully. We'll see. But yeah, I'll keep you updated in my upcoming vlogs. Please leave a like or a nice comment if you want to, and if you subscribe, I will talk to you soon. Bye!